are witnessing the commissioning of this edifice, which of course was acquired by NDDC, restructured, rehabilitated, and furnished for the use of the people for the use of the staff of NDDC. I've just been told that they were in a rented bungalow, but today they are in a permanent apartment. What that means is increased productivity, and of course, with this type of building, anybody who goes there and operates will like to stay until 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. But like the place you were, I'm sure once it is 2, 3, it will be difficult for you to see any of the staff still there. Having said that, let me also say in clear terms, as I said before, that one of our elders here, a friend, Ambassador Igali, the chairman of PADEF, has also been very supportive to us. And I'm happy today is the chairman of PADEF, and I believe he will step on the shoes of our late father, Chief Edwin Clark. I wouldn't want to take much of our time because most of us are still going back today. Otherwise, we would have more things to say. And on that, I would like to invite on stage for a brief remark our guest and our leader and the governor of the state, Governor Doye Dili, to kindly give us a brief remark as we're about to commission this project. Thank you very much. We give you
Thank you. Your Excellency, my dear wife, Your Excellency, my very supportive and resourceful Deputy Governor of the state, members of the National Assembly here present, let me recognize the Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly and other members of the State Assembly here present, the Honorable Minister of Regional Planning, and the Chairman and Managing Director and your team of the NDDC that is also here present. Of course, our friend Olukoye, the chairman of EFCC, who is also here with us. I'd like to acknowledge our leaders and our elders in no particular order. I can see Ambassador Igali, the chairman of PANDEF. I also can see our own apostle, Zili Agri, and very many other leaders and elders of the state that are here, national leaders that I may not have seen, that are all here, members of the fourth estate of the realm, invited guests, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Anoa, Anoa, Aloa, Anoa, Izo, Izo. It's okay if I want to give him here. It is really heartwarming that we are gathered here in this Melford Okilo house, now acquired by the NDDC. This building was occupied by the Nigerian Content Development Board. as their takeoff office before they built their own tower, that is the most imposing tower in the capital city of Yenagoa. And this building has been lying fallow since after they left. And today, we have another agency of the federal government, the Niger Delta Development Commission. This time around, they are not renting it. They have acquired it as their own. And so, we thank you, NDDC, for acquiring it. Even if I would have told my brother that maybe you two would have rented it and then go and build another. Local content is 17 towers. So NDDC may have built another 20 towers so that our state capital will gradually be taking its shape. But be that as it may, this may be a beginning point. It is not too late. Maybe after now, another tower will still come to Bayelsa State. I recall also that whilst the NDDC was at its formative stages, I was part of those serving the government of the state at that time. And our request at that time, under our late Chief DSP Alame's of blessed memories, was that the headquarters of the Niger Delta Development be sited in Yenagoa. And that battle was carried on by Chief DSP Alame, but finally we lost to River State that had better facilities. And so for me, it is not a surprise that we have this kind of beautiful edifice today in Yenagoa and acquired by the NDDC, a befitting office for that matter. And so I want to thank the NDDC for this beautiful edifice as a cozy working environment for NDDC staff and all of us that may find ourselves in this office. Now, having said that, I also want to believe that in this state, we are one and the same people. We are the only homogeneous Ijaw state in Nigeria. Ijaws are in every other state in the Niger Delta, but in Bayelsa, there is no other ethnic group. It is only one ethnic group. We may have different clans, but we are all one and the same people. And so we need to support one another, as united as we are, to support one another. Politics should not divide us and tear us apart. Politics should be an avenue to attract development to Bayelsa State. And each and every one of us, wherever we find ourselves, think of what you will attract to this state. It is a state that is in need of development. And I believe that that's what the NDDC and every other person from Bayelsa at any level you find yourself is doing and will continue to do. I am very sorry I was not there in the first program because there was a conflict of programs with another program that I had this morning. But I'm very much aware of what went on there also. That's one beautiful project that anybody from this state will even say, oh, can we do that across all our local government areas? Because we all know what happens annually when we have this perennial flood. And most times, and in most cases, our people are displaced. and our people become internally displaced persons with no home at that point. And so, if it were possible, it is something that an IDP camp would have been built in virtually all our local government areas. And that intervention by the NDDC is also key and very acceptable to the government of Bayelsa State. And let me appreciate the Minister for Regional Planning, just as he mentioned that we have been here in all the programs. He is also, as the supervising ministry, he has always found himself in Bayelsa State, in Yenagoa. We thank you and we appreciate you. I talked about the Jos, but generally, all of us from the Niger Delta, we have very similar and the same issues. Is it the issues of flooding, issues of erosion? Is it issues of pollution? And all of them, they are virtually the same. And we must work hand in glove to ensure that our region is free of most of these challenges. And that can only happen when we are united. We have a lot of avenues that will address this nationally and internationally. And those of us who are found ourselves at the national level continue to look into the issues within your own space and the headquarters of Southern Ijaw local government area. And we hope and pray that the partnership we have with the President and the federal government, they will again join us.
You don't talk finish.
Thank you very much on behalf of the Chairman, MDCO, and Board of the NDDC. We say thank you. Thank you to Bayelsa State. Thank you, Yenagoa City. Thank you to the Ijaw Nation. Mr. Charles Odi, Mr. Samuel Chuku, Dr. Seleme, and Associate Dr. Thelma Ibegi. Thank you. NDDC,
Not just as a commission, it will tell you who change. Not your society. It will tell you. It will tell you. MDDC will tell you who change. It will tell you. It will tell you. This is dedicated having a chance to end this. It's a player powered by Tabi Josefa. That is AKA Patuwa. And this is in Botayo. And Vido Botayo. Structure back the man in charge of 45 followers. The success of what does the Pakistan. Lead down, Farah. I'm not too much. How did you see him? We'll tell you. We'll tell you. We'll tell you. That love massive will tell you. That love massive will tell you. That love massive will tell you. We have seen the light. This and the EDC. The Google is the light. Hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light. This and the EDC. Sabi is the light. Hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light. This and the EDC. We have seen the light. This and the EDC. We have seen the light, it's at the EDC. Obuku is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's at the EDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's at the EDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's at the EDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's an EDC. Let me give the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's an EDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's an EDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's an EDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, seen the light, it's MDDC. MDDC is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's MDDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's MDDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah, amen. We have seen the light, it's MDDC. Sami is the light, hallelujah.